Greetings and salutations. This is Rick Koppel coming at you from Denver, Colorado from another episode of Not a Linux Guru Guy. And today we're going to take a look in our continuing series of new user Linux reviews on a little known distro named Neptune OS. Now what attracted me to this made to slap it in here, seemingly nobody I've ever heard recommend this distro as a new user distro. But the reason I wanted to check it out just for this purpose was because of my fascination with the planet Neptune. Why did I have fascination with that? Well, back in the day, I wrote a comic called Neptune 2. This is back when I was a teenager, back in the late 70s. During the 70s, I wrote this comic with my bear. I'll show you what this ship actually looks like. That's just a shuttlecraft on the front page. Anyway, there's a ship flying away. And that's my Neptune 2. Now, if you're thinking it sounds like Jupiter 2, you're correct. Lost in Space Jupiter 2. I love that show back when I was a kid. And so I've always had a bit of a fascination and a partiality to the planet Neptune. So I've written some short stories on it and things like that. Anyway, that's what attracted me when I saw there was this Neptune OS. I went, oh really? So I went and downloaded the ISO and I decided to review it on my new users list reviews series. So it's kind of an outlier in that regard, as far as it's not really recommended as a new user, but I actually found it came in pretty high on score. And so we're going to take a look at it today on the other side of the intro. Alright, here we are on the website for Neptune. And you notice right off the bat they have a download button on the front page. Of course, it's easier to do that when you don't have a big company and you only have one option for downloading your software. So anyway, you just click on that and you download the KDE version of software. Is the only one you have, the only option you really have to download. This is a smaller operation, I think, than your standard thing. It's been going for a while and it's attracted some attention. I think I saw this featured on another video. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head. The review on Neptune OS, which is where I was going, really? There's Neptune OS? I gotta have one. So yeah, so you just click this download button. And you go right to here. Now this is based on Debian. Obviously you got an option to donate to them. Anyway, system requirements is a 1 GHz Intel AMD 64-bit CPU chip with 1.6 GB of RAM and 8 GB hard drive space at least. And then here's where you download it. Now you can download it from the server directly, ISO server, or you can download it from a mirror. I want to save them some money. And download it from FilePub mirror. If they have any torrents I'm aware of, download it from. So I downloaded it, clicked on this, downloaded it from them. From the ISO mirror, one of the two, I don't remember which one I did. And it's Neptune 6.5 called Jet. Jet. 2.4 GB ISO. So you want at least probably a 4 GB if they have any of those. I don't even know if you can buy a 4 GB flash drive anymore. It's crazy how big they've gotten, but they say they're coming out 2 TB flash drives. They probably already have, and I just haven't come across it yet. Anyway, easy to navigate Neptune. It's easy to read and everything. No big issues there. It's decent contrast. It's not as light. Some of it's a little bit light. Like this package list is kind of light. It's readable. It's not too bad. My eyes can handle it. My eyes can handle it. Most people can handle it. This is KDE Plasma, the desktop. I think I mentioned that already, but it's installed on here. But there's some changes that I really like about it, about how they did it too, as well. So I'll show you here in a minute. So let's go over to the installation and take a look at that. And here we are on Neptune OS desktop. KDE is Plasma is the desktop environment that it has, and surprisingly, this actually works good. Shortcut keys work for the most part so far. Keep your fingers crossed. And yeah, so it's a nice looking desktop. At first, it looked kind of bare and bleak, and then I started to appreciate the minimalistic view of it. It looks pretty nice actually. And you start to appreciate it. Now this is a Debian system based on Debian, and it's, let me show you real quick. And yes, I imported a KWin tiling manager. It doesn't come automatic. You can see it's using about 1.2 gigs of memory out of 16 gigs of memory. If you have a lower amount of memory, up to 4 gigs of memory, that'll get reduced down to somewhere around 600-700 gigs, I guess. Megabytes, I mean. Yeah, you can see it's based on Neptune 6.5. Now, this doesn't come with Alacrity out of the box, so you have to keep in mind that it doesn't have Alacrity on it. It's got the standard console terminal emulator that comes with KDE. I installed Alacrity on it myself, actually. Wasn't easy either, but then a lot of things in this life aren't easy, huh? So I just wanted to look at that. I'm on the terminal for any terminal reason, just to show you the printout there of the information. So let's look at the programs it has on it so far. Now I did install a few programs on here, obviously OBS, but also I installed Firefox on here because with Chromium web browser. Now the Excalibur menu, pretty cool actually. I kind of like how it's laid out. It's got log out, reboot, shut down. They're all right there. You click on that, and then you just click on the little thing that Katie pops up here that allows you to select which one you want. I'll show you that real quick. Then we'll log out. Pop a little thing here, and click OK. And so reboot and shut down are all logged out at the same time. About 20-30 seconds to take care of it, or it'll go automatically out. So yeah, Excalibur menu. Now this is something that's peculiar I noticed to Neptune, in that alternatives. If you go to alternatives here, it's got 4 menu items. Now the other 3 I've seen before: simple menu, simple ultra menu, basically, and then you have your application menu. That's one I usually popped over to whenever, because I didn't like KDE. That says 5 application menus. Yeah, let's just go through them real quick and see what to show. So you got this one. Switch settings so you see what that looks like. And this takes up the full screen, blacks out everything else. And you got all your full screen favorites over there. Your applications up there, and your every time you go to one of these things, it changes those things over there. Okay. So you say I don't like that. All right. Well, let's go to a different menu then. And this here is the standard menus that KDE usually has on it when you get it out of the box, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, I like this one because to do this, you gotta go over here, you gotta click on leave, you gotta click on one of those, and you gotta click on that. So it's like 3 clicks to get out of this thing. You want to shut down or log out or something like that. So then plus, I think all that, you don't get your application, so you get over here. And then you have to click, go into it, and you have to click to get back. You don't find which one in there, blah, blah. So it's easier just to use the search menu on this function. Puppy. That's why I like this menu. Oh, it's one standard one that KDE launches with whenever you get KDE out of the box. Plasma. That's usually one that has it on there. Okay, so then we got this one. This is what I've used before. It's a cascading pop-up menu. It's pretty easy to use. It's nice. And it just pops up. So you don't have to click. You have minimal clicking on this. So you go in. So then you got this. Simple menu too. Which I think is okay, it's nice, it's alright. I recall. Yeah, it has this kind of a menu. A cascading pop-up menu, but it's in reverse and it's got all the Office stuff. All the icons are oriented on it. But I'm kind of partial now to the scalper menu actually. So good deal. Now let's get over what we came here for originally. That is your internet game. So I installed Firefox on this actually. Comes with Conqueror, which is a type of web browser, and sort of it's not the main web browser usually people use for web browser. It's more like almost a file manager to a certain extent. But anyway, it had Thunderbird on it. It came with Chromium web browser. That checks off those 2 boxes. Multimedia. Has Amarak, which is a music player up there at the top. Also got a media player movie as well as a VLC. So it has plenty of things. Plus you got your Pulse audio volume and Kdenlive. You got Audacity all out of the box here. You have to uninstall some of that because I don't use a lot of those. But yeah, it's a little bloat here. Not terrible, but it's got some extra stuff in there that I probably will get rid of at some point. And let's see, and then the Dolphin File Manager, of course, that it uses for its file manager. So it's got that, which is a good file manager. And that pretty much covers our 5 program things we wanted to get out that we looked for in this thing. So it's a good deal. And yeah. Now the program availability is pretty good in this. It's about the same as what you get for Linux Mint or any of those. So I got it set up for that. Now you can install snaps on here or flat packs and get a lot more stuff. So out of the box, it does have all the back ports for Buster set up. It's also got 2 or 3 Neptune repositories in there, as well as it does the non-free and contributed out of the box. So all those repositories are available for you to download programs from. So it's about as good as the Linux Mint and all those guys. And the only thing I might like is maybe some that Ubuntu would have that Debian doesn't, stuff like that. But you can usually install PAPs and other repositories in Debian as well to access those if you needed to. Yeah, but that's not something new users are going to know right out of the box as they open up for their first time in Linux Mint or Linux whatever. So Yeah, so it's got about that. And I want to skip the printer for now because I want to go over that a little bit. The keyboard shortcut setups are pretty good on here. Actually, it's the first time I've had KDE work with keyboard shortcuts almost flawlessly. I've set up several in here, and they all work. So I got like a ramp terminal. I actually switched the keys to super enter, which is a common key for window managers, to open up terminal. Of course, out of the box. I set up my close key to be Alt Q because window Q was taken or something about that, and I didn't want to screw things up yet. So, other things like Linux Mint, Control Shift W. Not Linux Mint. I don't know why I have that on the brain. Anyway, yeah. Oh, it's not Control Shift. It's Control Super Key W. That brings up LibreOffice. And so yeah, the keyboard shortcuts worked. First time I set them up, they worked. Believe it or not. So I'm giving that a 10 on that. I'm so excited they worked. That's one thing that KDE seems to mess up so often, the shortcut keys. Not sure why they do, but they did. The only other thing I meant to show you on the program availability was its program manager's Discover, which is fairly standard program manager. Themes and wallpapers on this puppy are pretty good. Well, if you know anything about KDE Plasma, you know it's got a good theme manager, and it's got you can tweak it out down to the icon or all of the different aspects of it you want, pretty much. So I'm not going to show you all that because that's pretty obvious and simple. Everybody knows KDE is good in that area. Probably one of the most configurable as far as themes and wallpapers they got. But let me show you the wallpapers, show you what you got here. What I'm going to select, because I like this wallpaper here, this background, but I like another one even better. I want to show what that is. Go over here, configure desktop, and just right here. Doesn't that look awesome? Oh, yeah, it's kind of a little earthy and spacey at the same time. Yeah. Neptune. Alright, so that's Steve's wallpaper. Updating. Yeah, you just go to the Discover menu over there. Update pretty easy. Update on the printer issue that I had before. Need to show you this. So I figured out what was going on with it specifically. That is, if I go here and I go to System Settings, I go down to Printer, go to Maintenance. I print this test page here, first one. It'll give me a temp file issue, as I showed you before. It says right there, filter failed. The test page. It'll just sit there forever like that. That was the issue I was having when I was trying to print out of the box. But if you notice, like, let's go to my web page. So I want to print this here. Print this, go to page 1. Print 1 page on this steel puppy here. Print. Then you'll notice it probably will go through and do it there. Lit up. Printer's churning away. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's printing out my page up in Webpad page I just showed you there. So the issue in that isn't that it won't print on the box like I thought at first. It won't print that page, that one specific page. And the second self-test print page, it won't print that either. But it does something right. I haven't figured out why it won't print that, but you do that, it just goes there. And it happens. You also notice it's not in the queue either. It just goes through, nothing happens. Not sure what that issue is about, but that's what's happened to that. Now I figured out why the first test page doesn't print though. That's because, let's minimize this here real quick so I can look at this. And I'm going to show you what I've got here. Also, you might have noticed I installed a tiling window manager on this from KD Plasma. KWin is a thing, so that's why you're seeing all this tiling going on here. Just in case you're wondering. So anyway, yeah, you go to, let's see, CD user. Yeah, I think it's that one. Yeah, user share and cups data. Yeah, so here's all the test pages you'll see here. You'll notice this one up here has a pdf.distrib connected to the end. That's what's causing that one test page not to print. You might think the other test page is here, there's print there, test print. That's why it's not printing. It doesn't have a PDF on it, but I've tried putting PDF on it, it didn't help. All this is a text file basically. Not sure why that's not printing, but anyway. Something's wrong there, I guess, too. I don't know what it is exactly. This one, I just take this off the end of this file here. And then I can down here move this to do something different here. Take this distribute off the end, just have it like a PDF. Oh, I gotta put sudo on, I forgot. I always forget to put sudo on this one, I don't know why, but I always forget. Every time practically. Sudo, not sudo. No, I don't think I typed password correctly there. And now, see, this is just default test page.pdf. Distrib on the end of it. Now, you go back, maximize this again, and we print the test page. This time it should print. And it's printing. Yay! If you hear that, but the printer fired up again. Printing the test page out. So it wasn't that it couldn't print out of the box when it first got on, but I just had one test page had a problem that it couldn't print. He assumes it may be some dealing with breeze icons or something like that. Installation. Anyway, I reported the bug to him, so he's checking it out. He's gonna fix that. In the meantime, if you just go in there to user/share/cups/data, you can take that, just strip off the internet one file. You'll be able to print out a test page. That's a big deal. As long as it'll print, yay, it'll print. Print anything else pretty much, but not that one. Those 2 test pages won't print out for you. So until you, at least you take the strip off the end of that one. And so I wanted to get that in before I installed the next OS. I've decided to install Zorin OS on this computer and check that out for new users too, since it specifically says it's an installation for new users. Come from Windows and Mac OS. I'll explain more about that next time, but anyway, that's the system situation. I really like Neptune OS. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to keep it on this machine. Just leave. That's why I've ran it last. This is the last one I'm plan on doing. Might do some more in future, depending on if I find other OSs that are recommended for new users. I'll evaluate those too when they're brought to my attention or whenever I find them. Yeah, this is. I think I'm going to keep this on my system because I like Debian. Usually, when you run Debian, you get it all set up and everything, and it works pretty solidly out of. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about problems with it usually. It just works. And the only thing is, I'm not sure how much longer the KDE desktop's going to last on it. Maybe it'll last a while. Maybe it'll be okay. Then again, it might have problems or issues. If that happens, I'll try to install Cinnamon on it and see if that works. If it's good. Or better even. So that's the Neptune desktop for you. And we'll go to spreadsheet. So now we're back at spreadsheet, and we have our scoring of Neptune OS. The website was easy to navigate. You went right to the download. You can get it, grab it and go if you wanted to. Not too much trouble or hunting around for it. So it was a 10. And ease of installation. That was a 10. It was just next thing, and it went through pretty quick. I think it's probably Calamars installer I used. Now, this is the only part where I really gave it a low score on is because it didn't have any kind of guided tour at all to speak of. So I gave it 3 points, basically because it did do an update. It prompted for an update if I remember correctly. And so that went pretty smoothly. Had all the programs I was looking for. Web browser, email client, file manager was good, word processor, media player, had all that stuff. It had good availability program, is good. It's a Debian based system, so it had all the Debian based repositories there. Backports installed, things of that nature. And you can, but I don't think you had snaps or Flatpaks installed out of the box. One of those you had to activate those yourself. But it was a good selection, about standard. And the printer, now I gotta tell you about the printer. I already told you about the printer probably. Yeah, so I'm giving that a 10. Reason is because it does have out of the box installation. The only thing it wouldn't print was that stupid test page, first one. Neither one would actually print, but yeah, so I thought the whole thing couldn't work or wouldn't work, but then I found out there's just you already know the story on that one. You've just seen the video. Anyway, you made it this far. So I decided to give that a 10 because of that. It really wasn't one the fault of the OS that it did that. And 2, a new user probably wouldn't know anything about that unless they tried to print a test page themselves just to see if it would work. Because if you go to any website or anything, it print out just like that. Now I would probably set it up differently, but anyway, there you go. Then on the keyboard shortcut setups, I was surprised. You probably know from my history what KDE and I have been through with shortcut keys. A lot of times on KDE, I can plug shortcut keys into the menu and it don't work. So far, keep your fingers crossed, it's always worked. In KDE on Neptune, I don't know what the difference is. I don't know what to tell you on that, but sometimes they just don't work. But so far, they always work. They updated at some point and not working anymore. I don't know, but currently they work out of the box. On theming and wallpaper, well, you know KDE how good they are about that kind of stuff and all the themes you can do. So it's obvious that gets a 10. And updating went smoothly, no problems there. Nice system, the way they have it set up. That gets a 10. Ease of menu and activating programs. Well, now for a new user, KDE, that's where KDE falls short. I really need to get points down for that, I think. So let me just go down here. Because KDE has some strange things and new users wouldn't look for necessarily. And so, like having the lock screen or workspace behaviors and calling certain things different names than what they would traditionally look for. Like Power Manager was under energy savings. Yeah, that sounds good. So I'm going to give it a 9 or 8. I'll give it an 8. Just because I think it probably needs to be down there more on that part. It's the only KDE desktop I've actually reviewed on this series of reviews. Not the first KDE desktop I've ever reviewed, but it's the first time I reviewed on this series. Yeah, so anyway, 90 is the total score on that one. Let's get over here and chat a bit more. Okay, now I do have one more distro I decided to add to the mix, which I'm going to review next time. I decided to use Zorin OS because that's also one that's indicated as a new user distro by a lot of people. And I thought I should include that one in too. So I added that one in. I don't know why it fell off the radar because I have used it before, but it fell off the radar for me for some reason. I never thought to put that one in my scan across. Even though, as you'll find out, it's a lot like elementary OS in that regard. So anyway, we'll look at the review next time. And I really love Neptune OS, actually. I like this Debian based system. I like that it's pretty stable and it works well. I actually filed a bug report on that printer issue, and the guy responded back pretty quick and explained a little bit about what was going on with it and that kind of thing. So yeah, cool distro. I really love it, and it's got my favorite cartoon characters on it. Not really on the distro, but favorite planet. Have a good day. Also, remember to go down and click like, subscribe, and things like that. Notification bell if you want to get notified by email about my upcoming videos when they come out. And also, may the Linux force be with you. Bye.